The office was too quiet. Not the usual late evening calm, no hum of printers, no footsteps in the hallway, just silence thick enough to taste. My ex-wife's father sat across from me, polished glasses reflecting the overhead lights like two tiny interrogation lamps. His fingers tapped once against the folder before he slid it across the table. A single sheet, a number circled in red. His voice was steady, almost bored. "Accept the 68% pay cut, or we will find someone who will." He knew I was a single father of 3. He also knew I didn't break easily. I stared at the paper. Blank expression. Cold pulse. Inside, something shifted. A small, controlled tremor, like the first crack in a frozen lake. "I need 24 hours, I said, my voice level. His smirk was subtle, but it was there. A victory he thought he'd earned long before this moment. I walked out without looking back. But the silence followed me, into the elevator, into the parking lot, into the cold air that felt sharper than usual. At home, the kids were asleep. I stood in the doorway, watching their soft breaths, their small hands curled in dreams untouched by betrayal. My chest tightened, not with fear, but with calculation. I picked up my phone, found the number I'd memorized months ago. Not because I ever planned to use it, but because I knew I might need to. The CEO of their biggest rival answered on the first ring. And when he said, "We've been waiting for you," the crack inside me widened into something quiet, controlled, and inevitable. The next morning, the building looked the same: glass, steel, and manufactured professionalism. But I wasn't the same walking into it, not after the call, not after the pieces clicked. The pay cut wasn't financial strain, it wasn't restructuring, it was personal. I'd known there were whispers. My ex-wife's sudden charity toward her father's department. The VP's obsession with eliminating dead weight. The smug looks exchanged in meetings when I spoke. But the betrayal had roots deeper than I admitted to myself. It started months earlier. Small things at first. My desk moved. Responsibilities quietly stripped away. Meetings forgotten. Emails suddenly unanswered. At home, my ex-wife's tone shifted too. Detached, careful, practiced. Then the divorce. Convenient timing. A settlement that favored her in ways oddly aligned with her father's legal team. It all felt connected, but I hadn't allowed myself to see it fully. Not with 3 kids watching me, trusting me, believing I could hold our small world together. But yesterday's ultimatum? That was the first honest thing they'd given me. It exposed everything. The hidden resentment, the coordinated push, the way they wanted to break me slowly, financially, emotionally, professionally. They thought I'd cling to the job. They thought I'd beg. They thought being a single dad made me desperate. They were right about one thing. I was desperate, just not in the way they expected. I didn't confront anyone, didn't even change my routine. I walked to my office, logged in, typed like nothing was wrong. But inside, I was threading together evidence. Emails saved, documents backed up to drives they didn't know existed, HR notes mysteriously duplicated, conversations recorded after I learned they'd been doing the same to me. While they schemed loudly, I prepared quietly. By noon, I had everything. Proof of coordinated sabotage, illegal wage manipulation, retaliatory action tied to my divorce, and internal memos that were never meant to reach me. I didn't flinch, didn't sweat, didn't even blink at the thought of what came next. Because the rival CEO hadn't offered me a job. He'd offered me a seat at the table, and an invitation to bring everything they'd done into the light. I spent the rest of the day watching how my ex-wife's father strutted through the halls, how he laughed too loudly, how he barked orders at people who hated him more than he realized. He didn't see me, not really. He saw the man he thought he could break. He had no idea I was already gone. At 3:17 p.m., the email arrived. Subject line, approved. Full offer attached. Salary, triple my current one. Signing bonus larger than my yearly earnings. And one line at the bottom, we will handle your transition. I printed the offer, placed it in the same kind of folder he'd used with me, then walked to his office. He looked annoyed when I knocked. Annoyance turned to confusion when I stepped inside. Confusion turned to something softer, fear, when I placed the folder on his desk. He opened it. His eyes widened, his face drained of color. You already had this?" "No," I said, "but they'd been waiting." He stared at the numbers, at the offer he could never match. He looked up, breath trembling. "How long have you—" "Long enough." Silence swallowed the room. For the first time, he looked small. I leaned forward just slightly. "About that 68% pay cut," I said quietly. "I decline." He swallowed hard. His hand trembled as he set the paper down. "You won't get far," he muttered. "You think a rival company will protect you from—" "I'm not going to them," I cut in. "They're coming here." He froze. I placed the second document on his desk, copies of every violation, every memo, every coordinated action linked to him. His face twisted. Shock, horror, desperation. "You're making a mistake," he whispered. "No," I said, "I'm correcting yours." When I walked out, I didn't look back. I didn't need to. The sound of his panic, the rapid dialing, the frantic shuffling was enough. I left the building for the last time with a box that felt lighter than air. Outside, the wind was calm. The world felt strangely balanced. Quiet, but not empty. My phone buzzed, an email confirming my start date. I didn't smile. I didn't need to. Some victories don't need celebration. Some truths don't need witness. As I walked to my car, I realized something simple. They hadn't broken me. They'd freed me. And the final thought hit with the force of a whisper. Sometimes the cleanest revenge is walking away untouched while they burn in the fire they built for you.